Hey guys, and welcome to the AMS show, and I am very excited to welcome you guys to the first ever episode of What the Fuck. For this first episode, I'm going to be talking to you guys about gun control and regulation. First off, I want to define exactly what gun control means, because there are a lot of people out there with a bit of a clouded view on what it actually means. Gun control is the concept that allows people who are responsible and safe gun owners to own guns without any issues, but it allows the government to keep guns and ammunition away from people who shouldn't have firearms for, say, dangerous individuals, to just protect the whole of the country's population. Gun control doesn't mean that the cops or someone is going to come break down your door and take all your guns away. And I know what you're all thinking. Oh, I'm just protecting my Second Amendment rights. Well, I'd like to read to you exactly what the Second Amendment actually says. And it states that a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that doesn't sound like you have the right to own a gun at any time. It means you have the right to own a gun if it is necessary to maintain a free state, which is something that the United States already has. And also, I'd like to touch on the argument that I'm safer if I have a gun in my home. For starters, let's go ahead and assume that is 100% true, and a gun in the house is a safer house. So, if you look at how many guns there are per capita in the United States, it is approximately 1.12 guns per person. So there are actually more guns than people in the United States. And if it is safer to have a gun than it is not, shouldn't the United States be 100% safe, considering that they have more guns than people? Well, you see, this doesn't seem to be the case, because the US actually has more gun violence than any other country in the world. Weird, right? I thought guns meant fucking safety. The United States is also the leader in accidental gun-related injuries, because along with a lot of gun control policies in other countries comes required gun safety courses to teach a gun owner how to properly handle and store their gun safely so they don't injure or kill themselves or anyone around them. But that also helps prevent your children from getting hands on your guns. But you will still find people with guns that remain cocked and loaded and within children's reach in their homes because they feel like it gives them protection knowing it's there. Also, one more thing, it's worth thinking about that if you have a gun on you when a shooting breaks out near you, what would you do? Because I sure as hell know that I would not be sticking around to fight back, because it is not in our nature to be the hero. When confronted with a life and death scenario, it is in fact in our nature to get the fuck out of there in fear of our damn lives. This is also why you don't often hear people shooting at the assailant when a shooting occurs, because they haven't been trained for those situations. And when you hear about a citizen taking a stand, it is often someone who has police or military training that takes that stand. Now let's take a look at a few statistics related to guns. Last year in the United States, there were more mass shootings throughout the year than days, killing 475 people and wounding over 1,800 more. Just think about that for a second. That's absolutely fucked. And that's only from mass shootings. The total firearm-related death in the United States last year totaled over 13,000 people. And if you look at the homicide rate alone, guns account for 60% of homicides in the United States, which when compared to other countries is exceedingly high. For example, in Canada, of all homicides that occur, only about a quarter of them are inflicted by firearms, which is a staggering 35% drop from the United States. And Canada's gun laws aren't even that strict. It's just a matter of taking 2 tests, and then you can pretty much own any non-fully automatic weapon, whether it be a handgun, an assault weapon, just as long as it's not fully automatic. Then if you compare that with countries with even stronger gun laws, that number just keeps going down. It's almost like the two things are correlated somehow. Like in the UK, for instance, the police officers don't even carry guns because it is not 100% necessary. I'll agree, in the States it is necessary just because of how many people have firearms with them, but in countries with stricter gun laws, it gets less and less necessary. And these loose gun control laws are also allowing people who are mentally unstable to acquire firearms due to weak background checks, which not only allows firearms to get into the hands of dangerous people, but it allows people who are clinically depressed to get firearms. which is why the United States also has the highest gun suicide rate in the world. And yes, you're probably thinking, oh, they would probably just find another way to kill themselves if that's their end goal. And in a lot of cases, you may be right, but in the time it takes to kill yourself another way, you have a lot more time to think about what you're doing and what the consequences of your actions are going to be over just compared to pulling a trigger and putting a bullet in your head, which could just be a split decision because you snapped one day. And no, I'm not trying to tell you guys that I hate guns and guns are the worst things to ever plague humanity. I just want to give you some food for thought. In fact, I actually love shooting trap. I think it's a ton of fun, but I'm saying that gun control and regulation laws are essential to creating a safer world that we want to live in. And the only way to lower that gun death rate is to add stricter gun control laws in many countries. You know, guys, to be completely honest, I don't think the regulation and tracking is the best part about gun control. I think the best part about gun control is the process of going through it, taking those safety courses, getting educated so that you can handle your guns safely and so your children don't get hurt, people around you don't get hurt, and no one that shouldn't be handling a gun gets a handle on those guns. And I'm just about to wrap up here, but I just want to say one more thing just to summarize what we've talked about here, and that is, what the fuck?